Do you guys know what this is called? We've got another one. You know what this is called? This is called a ranking boner. That's what this is called. So, music lessons, 17-month campaign, 1,301 leads. Now, these are just web form leads. So, someone fills out the web form, not calls, not direct email inquiries to the email address. We're looking at an increase in organic traffic from just under 200 organic visitors a month to sitting on a cool 750. We had a bit of a dip. I predict there's going to be more dips like this as Google's testing the how users are actually engaging with our website. Now, this bottom graph is displaying how many unique keywords we're showing up for, which is sitting at about 2K or unique keyword variations somewhere on Google. So in other words, the bottom chart is showing that we are publishing content, we're building pages, and the top chart is showing that content in those pages is actually showing up on Google and getting results. And Google Search Console shows a similar ranking increase. Now, if we break down this campaign, this was a campaign that the first 3 or 4 months was just Google Ads only. This was one of those, a bit of a stressful campaign to take over because it was like, hey, we urgently need leads, things are not good. And for a SEO agency and for someone like me to take over a campaign like that is super, super stressful because I genuinely want from the bottom of my heart for all my clients to succeed. And so when something like that knocks on the door, the most sensible thing to fire up is a Google ad straight away. Now, in this case, we were able to build a landing page quite quickly. So, landing page went up, music lessons, music tutoring landing page, dedicated Google ad with conversion tracking while we were rebuilding the website in the background. So, in other words, the client began to get leads from the Google ads straight away. With Google ads, you can definitely start to get leads in the first month, but a stable cost per lead begins to stabilize month 3 and 4 and onwards. Now, we rebuilt the website's made up of 85 service or geo pages. Geo pages are suburb pages. In this case, this is a music studio, a physical location. So it's sensible to build out maybe a kilometer radius of about 10 Ks. These guys are really good, so people will travel a little bit further because their teachers are really good, and that helps the campaign definitely when the services are good. So we ended up building 85 service pages and geo pages. So a service page might be an SEO page like piano lessons Sydney, right? Piano lessons Brisbane. Saxophone lessons, right? All of the instruments, where the instrument pages are targeting lesson terms and tutor terms. So we didn't split the two because we found that Google sees the term tutor and lessons as almost the same thing. Okay, so if we made separate pages, we found that there was going to be keyword cannibalization. Now, early on in the campaign, we've got 63 guide-like blogs. So these are blogs where we research topics like the benefits of saxophone and what it does to the brain, and how to learn saxophone and how to learn piano. So every musical instrument received a cluster of blogs on the topic of how to choose an instrument, what instrument should you play as an adult, as a child. In this case, this is for adults and kids. Really good overall. SEMrush is saying the same thing. I like to average between the two. I am expecting it to dip. Welcome to Google. The way Google makes decisions is they test data. Everything's an A/B test. They will place you up higher, they will see how people react, and they will then test you against the other competitors. I just know that all of my years of experience of doing this, if we stay the course, if we make high quality content on the website, we send high quality backlinks, we back it up with long form guide-like content that proves to Google that we're trustworthy on the topic, we're going to be heading, generally speaking, in the right direction. Now, if we break down the campaign, now, I think it was like November 2022 was when the first Google ad fired up. So this data is essentially looking at inquiries from when the website first went up, and so when we started tracking the new form. This is just a really quick export, and these numbers are April was 28 inquiries, May 69 inquiries, good number. June 64. Now these inquiries are not split up. These are both Google Ads and SEO inquiries. Early on in the campaign there weren't many SEO inquiries, so most of these were Google Ad inquiries. What we're seeing in December 2023, January and February 2024 is the numbers were in the hundreds, and that's because the Google Ads budget more or less remained the same, but SEO began to marinate and mature. And so what you're seeing, a drop from April to May, is simply us turning off the Google Ads, which is the goal. The goal is to not need rental marketing strategies, to not need Facebook ads, to not need Google Ads. The goal is for SEO to mature because they're the best type of leads you can get. These days, we don't see much difference between a Facebook ad, a Google ad lead and an SEO lead. This is the year that there's been no differences. Previous years, SEO inquiries were always just the tiny bit better, and the further back we go, the worse the Google ad inquiries were. We're talking like 5 and 10 years ago. This was because at that time, 10 years ago, there was a lot of fraudulent activity with Google ads. People were, especially in the IT or medical space, people were misleading people and doing fraudulent stuff. Google ads these days delivers really high quality inquiries, same as SEO. Now, I stuffed up on this one, but essentially I forgot to take a good before and after. This is already several months into the new website going live, so several months into the SEO campaign, where at their location within a kilometer radius, they were already in first position. This is at the time of, this is about June, July, around there. But the SEO campaign began back in December with off-page SEO, GMB optimization, local SEO and things like that. But nevertheless, this is the report currently today. So you can see that there's definitely a big shift. There's a lot more 20s. Now what we're looking at here is essentially a simulation of where the business ranks if someone stands at that point, grabs their phone and Googles for music lessons, music tutor, and a variety number of key terms. So we can see here at the very top where the population and the density of businesses really ramps up. So we know that around this area, which is Caulfield, there are lots of other music tutors and music lessons and essentially businesses on Google that are displaying a location and displaying that they are a music school or a music studio, music tutor, music lessons. So you can see here clearly we are in first position just under the Monash University, whereas before we were in 15th. So essentially the business is showing up for a wider range in terms of distance. So if someone Googling music lessons from pretty much Monash Uni, which is a few kilometers away from this location, we're doing quite well. So in other words, we are showing up. Now these are just local maps results, but the beauty of this is your organic rankings and the terms that popped up to the top of Google: first position, second position, third position, saxophone lessons, piano lessons, violin, cello were the target keywords. But we built out a whole bunch of other service pages, which popped up to first page of Google, so somewhere from 1 to 10. While this is really cool to share, what a lot of the time happens is this begins to plummet as Google tests us versus competitors. This is the time where you get a welcoming video on the homepage, where while Google is testing us, when people do land on our page, that welcome video keeps the user on the home page or on the service page longer. So your typical welcome video of about the company, about the tutors, about the owner, maybe a bit of a testimonial from some of the students and their stories. Might be an adult student, might be a younger student, their progress, their before and after. 3 to 5 minute welcoming video goes a long way because someone will land on that page and hang around, and Google will respect that and see that as a sign of engagement and reward us with more stable rankings. So good news, happy news. All that really matters is the lead numbers. That's all that matters. Now, this could be like, this is just a nice complement to the campaign, and this brings a higher lead numbers because this basically means we're starting to get more traffic for desirable key terms. But all that matters is that we have a scalable, controllable way of getting leads, and we can always rely on firing up I call it the tap, which is Google Ads. We set the budget. I think leads was sitting at about $17 to $23 a lead, around there, for especially around summer. I think the most expensive leads cost for music lessons at the moment was about $40. So they're pretty good numbers, because you do the numbers. How many lessons are booked in? I think an average of 10. I'm not reading out real numbers, I'm just simulating. The parent might book in 10 lessons. There might be a trial lesson which might be free. They book in 10 lessons. What's a lesson worth? I don't know. I'm making it up. What's an hour of a music tutor? I don't know. Is it $50, $60, $70? How many lessons they book on average? I think it's about 10. You do the math. If a lead is costing us, how much is a lead costing us? $20 to $40, and you need, maybe, depending on how good you are at sales, you might sell 1 in every 3, 1 in every 5. Yeah. Work out the numbers. I'm literally just making things up, but those numbers are close to the truth. But everything is a numbers game. And so what we're talking about is Google Ads inquiries. So these are paid inquiries, which are rental inquiries. But once the business ranks on local maps, on SEO, these inquiries are essentially free, right? It's like owning a house. Yes, you got to pay off the mortgage. You got to pay off the crazy interest and things like that to the bank. But once you own it, it's yours. Whereas Google Ads or Facebook Ads is the rental strategy. All of them can work, right? Music lessons is actually one that Facebook Ads will work quite well as well, because on Facebook you can target parent with 3-year-old, 5-year-old, 10-year-old. When I was running a campaign for private schools, childcare's no-brainer. Childcare's private schools, we're still running them. You hit a parent with an X month old. Hope that makes sense. Hope this has been helpful. Ping me if you have any questions on what we did. But look, a lot of my local campaigns are all pretty much exactly the same. Brand is very important, right? We build service pages. Each service page targets a certain key term. There are brand pages about the team. We created a whole structure about the teacher. So all the teacher pages got their own page about the teacher, linked in to their LinkedIn accounts, a huge trust signals from Google's perspective, because they can see real people behind the brand. These days that goes a long way. Blogs don't work as much as they used to work. They work less for non-brand websites. They work better for real brand websites. So your typical, like a financial advisor, where you have the financial team displayed, their LinkedIn's displayed, their author pages displayed, that goes through the roof in terms of blogs. My lead gen websites, which is essentially like a home renovation website, which doesn't have a brand behind it. It's like a fake brand that I've created that doesn't have a detailed LinkedIn of the owner, of the author. That's the kind of content marketing that is suffering at the moment, because essentially anyone can go and smash out those long form guide-like blogs of high quality, but Google's having an issue trusting who to trust. The content's perfect, we choose which one is better. That's where citations, that's where authors, and of course backlinks go a long way. At the end of the day, if you have more backlinks from trusted websites that are real, genuine brands, Google trusts that. The core algorithm is still very much things that happen on the website, pages and text on the website, titles on the website, definitely speed and technical SEO, but 50% is backlinks. But you can't do one without the other. You can't have perfect on page and just rank magically without the backlinks, and you can't have perfect backlinks without good on page. It has to be just I always say that the biggest ranking factor is the lack of a factor. So there's 200 factors, so we just got to head in the direction of those 200 factors. We track results and we sculpt on a monthly basis based on where we rank. We move around. Hope that makes sense.